Welcome to a new lecture in the RICS APC Essentials course. This course is crafted in order to help the assessment of professional competence candidates to get chartered from the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. This course also helps the candidates to take their understanding of the different areas of competence from level 1 knowing, going to level 2 doing, and then to level 3 advising, wherever relevant. In this lecture, we're going to be discussing client care, which is a very important area of competence. It is a mandatory area of competence up to level 2, which is doing. So we're going to be tackling today level 1 knowing and level 2 doing in this area of competence. The agenda for our lecture today is going to be as follows. We're going to be tackling level 1 knowing, and in level 1 we're going to be discussing a number of them points. We're going to explore further what's meant by client care, and then we're going to be diving in the fees and proposals, and we're going to explore together how we can measure the performance using key performance metrics or indicators. We're going to be discussing the appointment letters and the appointment particulars, as well as shedding some light on further considerations for any quantity surveillance to be aware of in the realm of client care. When we finish level 1, we're going to be cracking on with level 2, and then we're going to be discussing 3 main points. The first one is how we can monitor the satisfaction of the client from the provided products and services, and we're going to be discussing how we can do that using a client satisfaction questionnaire. We're going to be also discussing the unfortunate event of having some sort of miscalculation of the resources required for a specific job, known as under-resourcing, and how we can solve this problem. And then we're going to be ending level 2 and the lecture on a very good note by showcasing the complaints handling procedures and what the RICS suggests for each and every single company to follow in order to resolve complaints. There are some final bits that we need to note at the end of this level, and every quantity surveyor should be aware of. First thing is the duty of care. We should do our best and we should practice due diligence when dealing with any client work, regardless who the client might be. We have to do our best and we have to use our skills in order to produce the highest level of service. And that resonates with the ethics and the code of conduct area of competence, where we have to be transparent with the client. We have to be honest with the client about the progress of the works so far, the costs of the works done to date, and what is the cost forecast for the remaining works. We also have to be providing the services within our areas of competencies. So if we're QSs, we shouldn't be acting as project managers or accountants, because that's not within our area of competence. We have to maintain a professional tone whenever we meet the client or liaise with the client, and we have to be professional in the emails and all of the means of communication that we use when dealing with clients. And we also have to do our best and practice due diligence in order to provide the highest level possible of the service or the products. And that leads us to maintaining good client care. The maintenance of good client care is going to be through a lot of them things. So some of them things are going to be good, collaborative and regular communication with the client. And as long as we understand how the client thinks, what are the objectives of the client, what they're trying to achieve, and we are clear on the scope of works as per our appointment particulars, that's where we're going to achieve huge success with the client. One of the most important things as well is how we manage the client's expectations and also the resources that are required for the job. The last point in level 2 is all about how we deal with complaints. As a rule of thumb, it's always effective in terms of time and money to sort out any sort of complaints in an amicable manner. And that's why it's really vital to state dispute resolution methods in the appointment contract. In the unfortunate event of having a complaint or an issue sent over by the client, which needs to be resolved in the company, first of all, the complaint should be allocated to the right person or the appropriate person. The client should be notified that the complaint has been received and acknowledged by the firm, and there's a time frame for acknowledgement of the issues or complaints, which could be about a week or 7 days. And in this unfortunate event, the professional indemnity insurer should be notified that a complaint is under investigation, and then the company should investigate what's happening in the complaint, why it happened in the first place, what's the issue, who's responsible. And this is the process of fact-finding and trying to document all the evidences. Once that is done, the company should reach a conclusion, an outcome. It might be also a decision to be undertaken or an act of correction. And then this outcome is communicated to the client. everything that we have stated so far, starting from the complaint itself and the investigation that should be undertaken in terms of the fact finding and documenting of all the evidences, everything should be recorded in a complaints handling log. And then a lessons learned session should be prepared between the client and the company to discuss further future plans, trying to avoid something like this from ever happening again. And then if God forbid the client is still unhappy with the outcome, the client can refuse to the UK Independent Redress Scheme, which is an external party that is going to investigate in the complaint and reach an outcome which should be binding to parties involved in that conflict. And this is all for this video, which is meant to be an extended trailer or a teaser. And if you want to have full access to the full length, the recorded videos, the notes, the presentations, and the question answer banks, do not hesitate to get enrolled on the APC Essentials course on the APC Mastery Path web portal, and you can make the best use of a coupon code which is APC35 for a 35% discount. All the best in your APC journey. Thanks a lot for watching, and catch you in the next video.